Hello. So I've got my snow globe family book that I'm going to be inspired by, and we are going to be drawing a snow globe, but it's going to be in a little bit of a different way. So instead of just drawing a snow globe and that's that, we are going to make a still life of winter things. So I got inspired by the snow globe being up on the mantle. Now in my house at winter time, if there's mantle above the fireplace or a shelf, I'm going to put all my fun winter decorations. And you are going to get to choose what you're going to add on as well. So just to share with you, I love my little snowmen. So I've got my snowman, and then look at my little gingerbread house figure. So I've got these different things that I love to put around my house. So you get to make a little decoration in a still life. Now a still life is when the objects, you have some objects in your picture. So if it's a landscape, it's a place, right? If it's a portrait, it focuses on a person. But this is going to be a still life, so it's going to focus on different objects. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is draw my snow globe, and then I'm going to show you how to draw the shelf underneath. Now, a lot of snow globes are spheres, right? They're round, they're circles, and you can definitely do that. If you want to do that, you can try to draw a round circle, or if you have any kind of lids at home, you can lay those down and trace that. I'm going to do mine a little bit differently. I'm going to look at this guy here and look at this shape. This is more like an upside down letter U, so mine's going to be a little bit different. So I'm starting with Sharpie, but of course you should start in pencil so you can erase any mistakes. And I'm going to put my snow globe here. You can decide where on your paper you want to put it. I don't want mine right in the middle. So I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to start with an upside down letter U. Boop. And whether you drew a circle or the upside down letter U, you're going to connect these with a little bit of a curve, because the bottom of the snow globes are round circles. And so when you draw them, they need to have a little bit of a curve here. Now the base of the snow globe is up to you how big you want it to be. I'm just going to make a little base, just like that. Did you see how I connected that with a curved line too? Okay, so now I'm going to add my shelf, and I'm going to start by making a big rectangle. If you want it to be more like a mantle, you might go right off the page, but I'm going to start here. If you wanted to use a ruler, you can. I'm not worried about being perfect, so I'm drawing a big long rectangle. Now it's almost like drawing a 3D cube. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back, and these are both going to be about the same length, so you don't want one that's way longer. So now on this picture, if I wasn't going to draw anything else, I could connect that line to show the back of the shelf, but I am going to add some more decorations. So now I need to think, okay, what am I going to put in here? Now I showed you my snowman figurine, so I think I'm going to add a little snowman here. And I don't want it to be the same height. I kind of like to change up the height. So I think I'm going to put a little snowman right here. I'm going to draw this quickly because you know what? You might not be doing a snowman. You might be doing something else. So I'm going to put my little snowman in here. Boop. And oh, I do love having the big scarf here. Whew, that looks very nice. All right, I'm going to get my body. Boop. And if you notice, it doesn't go right to the edge, because I wouldn't put it right on the edge, right? I wouldn't want it to get knocked off my little shelf. Now, if you celebrate any holidays at wintertime, you are welcome to incorporate those things into your still life. I'm going to stick with winter stuff because not everybody celebrates stuff. But if you celebrate Christmas and you want to put a Christmas tree in your snow globe or have an elf sitting on the shelf, you could do that. If you celebrate Hanukkah, you could have a menorah right here, and you could put a dreidel inside your snow globe. Same thing with Kwanzaa, if you want to do the candles on there. Now, if you don't celebrate anything, stick with the wintry stuff. You've got snowflakes and the gingerbread houses and the snowmen and winter trees, so you can add all those things in. Now, I'm going to add, I need to have a fancy scarf on here. My snowman can't be very plain. If you're at home doing this, you can look around at what you have and use them to look at. You can also incorporate winter animals. What if I had a winter fox in here, an Arctic fox, or if I had a polar bear or a penguin? So for in my snow globe, I love in the story how it was like, how there had the whole family living inside the snow globe and there was a story going on. So I'm going to do a little village and I'm going to think about a little story going on in here. So I'm going to start, I'm just going to overlap some different buildings. I'm going to do it kind of a half circle. I'm going to make some different houses. Look at that, a trapezoid. I'm not worried about this being perfect. Maybe some triangle roofs. And look how I put them behind. I put them behind these other houses because they're all sort of kind of right in front of one another. Make this a little bit different there. Boop, boop. Oh, and maybe there's a tall one right here. Kind of a fun little village, isn't it? And then I can add in the little windows. Like I could add square windows. I could add little doors. I could add circle windows. And I like having some kind of texture on the roof because the roof has shingles on it, right? And I could do that in different ways. I could add little lines like this. I could add lines like that. I'm going to balance out that other one. And then maybe some little lines like this. Okay, and I just have to add a few more windows. This is your chance to add so much detail. And like I said, you could have something going on in this. You could have a little story going on inside of your snow globe. Now I'm going to use one of the patterns from up here. I think the plaid pattern where I do the stripes, and that's going to be the design of the base of my snow globe. And I like that to come down and kind of match it. So if you had a snowman in here with maybe polka dots, you could do polka dots down here. And then of course it is a snow globe. So I have to have all the snow floating around. Now, artists usually like to have an odd number of things in their picture. I have two things. An odd number is like 3, 5. So I want to have a third thing. So I need to think right here. I think I'm going to put just a winter tree. And there's my little winter tree. Now I can do the back of my shelf, and look what I do. I draw a line, I jump, I pretend that I'm drawing over that till I get to the next item. Then I keep going, and then I keep going. And there's my 3D shelf. Could I add things up here? Could I add twinkling lights coming down? Oh, yes. Could I add a fun wallpaper back here and make a pattern on the wall? Yes, I could. You could have a snowflakes floating around. You could make your shelf any color that you want. You could add more items on here. You could have something, if you had like an elf on there, you could have it doing something on the side. Whatever you want. This is your winter still life to come up with your design. So I'm going to add a few more things. I think I'm going to add a little bit of twinkly lights up here. And then you are going to color carefully once you have everything drawn. So I would get out my materials, whatever I have, crayons, markers, color pencils, and go in and color very carefully. So I'm going to go ahead and start on my snow globe with a nice kind of purpley background so my snowflakes stand out. And look how carefully I'm coloring. If you have a hard time coloring and you think it's looking a little bit sloppy, you probably just need to slow down instead of going so fast. Take your time on your wonderful drawing. I can't wait to see your winter still lives.